Now, you know I love y'all, but let me say something that might sting just a little bit. Some of you are not aging. You're habiting yourself into looking worse. Ooh. And before anybody gets in their feelings, this is not one of those be more attractive for men videos. You know I don't play that. Absolutely not. Boo, tomato. We don't do that over here. This is about you, how you feel in your body, how you show up in rooms, the energy people experience when you walk in. Because attraction, real attraction, it's not hyperfixating on what other people find pleasing. It's not contouring your face into trends or shrinking yourself into something more digestible. Because let me tell you something, if you chase what everybody likes, you're going to end up looking like everybody and feeling like a nobody. Can I get an amen? Pass the collection plate. I've had seasons of my life where I thought I was doing everything right. Hair done, outfits cute, showing up, but I still felt off. Like, why do I not feel as put together as I look? And it wasn't my face, it wasn't my body, it was my habits. The small things, the daily things. Nobody really talks about these things. And the truth is, people might not say anything to you, but they feel it. They feel when your energy is low. They feel when you're disconnected from yourself. They feel when something is just off. Heck, I got a 16-year-old toy poodle that knows that. And today is your best day because that's what we're talking about today. Not being attractive to them, whoever them are, but being aligned, present, and fully yourself, which just so happens to make you magnetic. Because the women who walk in the room and shift it, it's not always about being the prettiest woman in the room. It's about the one who's actually living in her life. So today we're getting into the 11 habits that slowly drain your energy, that presence, that something about her. And the fix, it's not dramatic, it's intentional. But first, go ahead and like this video and drop down in the comments. Go ahead and type grown woman standards only, or we're not doing ugly habits in 2026. Pick your ministry or whatever you would like. Even leave a suggestion for the next videos. All right, now let's slide right on into this first one. And this one you're going to recognize immediately.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
And let me say this, y'all know I'm Dr. Nina, licensed psychologist, full professor, mama and wife, and you know I love doing what I do. So if you're new over here, go ahead and join in. Nothing is said to harm, it's meant to help. This community over here wants to see you win, all right? So let's get into number one. Habit one is dopamine phase. Phone overuse. And I need you to hear me before you get defensive. Some of y'all don't look bored, you look empty. Like nothing is landing, nothing is exciting you, nothing is really hitting anymore. And it's not your face, it's your nervous system. You wake up, you grab your phone, scroll. TikTok, Instagram, emails, YouTube. And that's all before you even started your day. Feet ain't even out the bed yet. And your brain has already consumed more stimulation than it was designed to handle. And look, I find that the same thing happens with people that consume a little too much corn or too much corn at all. Okay, it can make you so overstimulated that you expect those things of the world, and they ain't realistic. And when I say corn, fill in the blanks. And look, with the overstimulation piece, I had to catch myself on this. There was a season where I would wake up, grab my phone real quick. Y'all know the real quick I'm talking about. Next thing I know, I've been laying there for 20 to 25 minutes. And I haven't even checked in with myself yet, but I'm checking emails. Then by 10 a.m., you feel tired, dragged, irritated, or just even flat and irritated by everybody, And you really don't even know why. Here's why. Nothing in your life can compete with that level of stimulation that you've given your brain already. And here's the part nobody says. It shows on your face. You know, that slightly disconnected look, that I'm here but not really present energy, that low engagement expression. That's not personality. That's overstimulation. You ever taken a picture after being on your phone all day and then you think, why do I look like I don't care about nothing? Because in that moment you don't. Your brain is flooded all day, so now regular life feels slow. People feel boring, conversations feel like work. And when you feel like that, you look like that. So here's what we're not going to do. We're not throwing away our phones. Relax. I got to be realistic. We live in the world. But we are going to give your brain some time to reset. 10 to 20 minutes a day. No scrolling. No music, no podcast, no background noise. I started doing this just walking, no headphones. And at first I was like, this is the ghetto. I don't like it. But then I noticed something. I feel more present. The birds are chirping. The sun is out. Okay. More aware, more alive. And that's the goal, not perfection, aliveness. Because when you feel present in your own life, you don't have to try to look interesting. You just are. And speaking of how you show up physically, let's talk about the way some of us are walking into rooms. Habit 2. That good old or not good old apology body. Some of us are not unattractive, we're apologizing. And you're doing it all with your body. Shoulder slightly forward, head a little down, energy pulled in, like you're trying not to take up too much space. And I want you to really hear me on this before you say a word. Your body has already introduced you. It's already told people I'm not fully comfortable here. I don't want to be seen too much. I'm just here. And people respond to that, not consciously, but they feel it. I see this all the time. Women who are beautiful, but they walk in like they're trying to disappear. And I had to check myself on this too, especially in spaces where I felt like I had to prove something or didn't fully belong yet. You shrink just a little, you get quieter, you move smaller. And it's subtle, but it changes everything about how you're being experienced. Because confidence is not just what you say, it's how your body holds you. Now let's be clear, this isn't about being loud. And this is not about performing. It's about not shrinking yourself to make other people feel comfortable. So here's what I want to challenge you to start doing. Before you walk into any room, take one breath. Drop your shoulders back, lift your chest slightly, and bring your eyes up. Okay? That's it, nothing dramatic. Because when your body says, I belong here, people respond to that energy without you having to convince them. Baby, one time I was in Woodhouse Spas and I had a young lady walk up to me while I had on a whole robe, okay? About to get a massage. And she said to me, when I grow up, I want to be like that. And I said, what you mean? Like this? And she said, you just got something going. Right? I wasn't trying to be anything. In fact, I didn't even have on my clothes. I had on the same robe and shoes as everyone in that spa. But when you walk in and you command attention and energy without even having to try to, I've had to practice to get there. People know you about that life. And if that one felt a little too accurate, this next one is the one that people pray is not them. Habit 3, basic hygiene, but let's be real. Let me say this carefully because I love you. Some of y'all are clean but not maintained. See, that's the difference. You're not dirty, but you're also not fresh. There's a difference between I took a shower and I took care of myself. Ooh, and people, they can feel that difference immediately. This is the one no one tells you about. They don't pull you to the side. They don't give you feedback. Not immediately anyway. Or to your face. They just create distance. And you're sitting there thinking everything's fine. And it's like, not quite. And I'm not just talking about the obvious. Yes, clean body, clean clothes, fresh breath, baseline. But I'm talking about the maintenance piece. Are you maintained? Hair looking intentional, not I just threw something on. Skin cared for, not ignored until there's actually a problem. Clothes fitting properly, not just it was clean. Because clean is the minimum. Maintenance is the standard. And let me give you a real life example. Okay? You ever hug someone and nothing was technically wrong, but something felt off? That's what I'm talking about. And again, nobody's going to tell you that. They're just going to interact with you differently. And here's the fix. And it's simple. Not easy, but simple. You need some non-negotiables daily. Not when I feel like it. Not when I'm going somewhere. Okay, Tasha, daily. Because hygiene is not beauty, Mary. It's maintenance. And you cannot out-pretty a lack of maintenance. Now, if you're still with me, we're about to get into one that's quietly aging people in real time. And they don't even realize it. Now, let's talk about something that actually connects to everything we've been talking about. Taking care of yourself from the inside out. Because one thing about me, I'm going to go to my appointments on time. Regularly. And it's not because I feel like it. It's because I learned it early on. Taking care of yourself is a standard. And as a licensed psychologist, I'm always telling people this. What's going on internally will show up externally. Your energy, your skin, your mood, even how present you feel in your own life. So ignoring your health, that's not neutral. It shows up. And that's why I love ZocDoc. And they're the sponsor of today's video. ZocDoc is a free platform where you can search for doctors, compare your options, read real patient reviews because we need real. And you can book appointments quickly. So whether you're looking for a primary care doctor, a dermatologist, an OBGYN, mental health provider, you can find it all in one place. You can even filter for in-network providers, but you choose based on what you need. You hear me? And look, Keisha, you can actually see available appointment times up front. Girl! And a lot of times you can get in within 24 to 72 hours. Where they do that at? Sometimes even the same day. So whether you're like me and you stay on top of it because you done learned a thing or two, or you've been putting something off, stop. This might just make the process easier for you. So go to ZocDoc.com/Dr. Nina or click the link in my description to get started. Because look, taking care of yourself, that's not optional. Now let's get right on back into this. Habit number 4, you're not ugly. You're just exhausted. Now let's get into the thing that's really aging a lot of us in real time. Sleep. You don't want to sleep on the sleep. And I'm not about to give you the same tired advice, get your 8 hours. You already know all of that. But here's what you might not be paying attention to. When you go to sleep matters. Because your body actually has a repair window. Roughly between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Your body usually chooses to do the deep work. Skin repair, hormone regulation, and also collagen production. So you can sleep 8 hours, but if you're going to bed at 2 a.m. every night, you might be missing the window. Yeah, we all different, but you might be missing a big part of it. And I've seen this my whole life. There's been seasons where I was up late, working, scrolling, just one more thing. And I still got my hours in, but my face, it told on me all the way. Dull, tired, just not giving what it needed to give. And I had to be honest, it wasn't my products. It was my habits. You cannot out skincare chronic exhaustion. You'll see it in your eyes and your skin and your energy. And the truth is, some of y'all are trying to glow on a tired system. So here's the fix. And you know me, we gonna keep it realistic. Don't try to overhaul everything overnight. Just start trying to pull your bedtime back 30 minutes earlier every few days. That's it, because the goal is not perfection. It's getting your body back into rhythm. And when your body is rested, you do not have to work harder to look put together. And speaking of the things that show up on your face, whether you realize it or not, let's talk about how some of us are eating. Ooh. Habit number 5, you're not eating, you're coping. Now, let me say this. I'm not the eat clean 24/7 person. We're not doing that. That's not realistic. But some of y'all are not eating to nourish yourselves. You're eating to cope. Late night snacking, random cravings, eating when you're not even hungry. And if we're honest, it's not about the food. It's about what you don't want to feel. And I've been there. You had a long day. You're tired and maybe even overwhelmed. And instead of sitting with that feeling, you grab something. Not because you're hungry, but because you want relief. And here's the part that people don't connect. That pattern shows up in your face. Inflammation, breakouts, dullness. Because what's happening internally is always going to reflect externally. And again, this right here ain't about perfection. This is about awareness. So before you grab that snack, I want you to pause and ask, am I actually hungry? Or am I avoiding something? You don't even have to fix it right away. Just name it. Because awareness helps to break the automatic cycle. And from there, we keep it simple. 80% of the time, eat like you respect your body. 20% enjoy your life. Okay? No extremes, no punishments, just standards. Because when you start taking care of yourself intentionally, it shows. And speaking of things that show up in ways that people don't expect, let's talk about how some of us are choosing to communicate. Habit number 6, you ramble. A lack of clarity. Let's talk about how you're communicating, because this one is sneaky. Some of y'all are not being misunderstood. You're being unclear. You start talking and 3 minutes in, we're trying to figure out what the point is. There are side stories and extra details. Yeah, we want to know the tea, buds. We took a left turn and a right turn and we lost. And here's the thing, people won't tell you this. They just stop fully listening. And I say this with love because I had to learn this too, especially in professional spaces, meetings, speaking, and even teaching. I had to get very clear on what is my point. Even with videos, y'all say I get right into the business. There's a reason. Don't nobody want to hear all that side talk. Because clarity reads as confidence. Clarity reads as intelligence. Clarity reads, she knows what the hell she's talking about. And if we think about some of the world figures right now, a lot of ramblings going on, okay? I'm just keep my mouth shut. And when you do that, it doesn't matter how smart you are. And it doesn't matter how good your idea is. People experience it as confusion. And I giggle because it's true. And confusion is just not attractive. So here's the fix, and it's simple. Before you speak, I want you to ask yourself something. What is the one thing I need them to understand? Say that first, then everything else supports that point. That's it. Because when you communicate clearly, people lean in. They want to hear more. And speaking of how people read you before you even speak, we need to talk about your energy. Habit number 7, chronic negativity. You think it's real. Let me go ahead and say this. Some of y'all think you're being real, but a lot of people just experience you as being heavy. Every conversation, there's a complaint. Every situation, there's a problem. You can't even order your food without complaining. Every good thing comes with a yeah, but, and I get it. Life is lifing a lot of the times, even for me. But when it becomes your default, people feel it. They get tired. There's a difference between processing life and projecting negativity on everyone else. And don't worry, I've caught myself here too. There were moments where I was super stressed and overwhelmed, and everything coming out of my mouth was just heavy. And I had to check that because people might not call it out, but they will start pulling back. Not in a dramatic way. They just stop inviting you, stop engaging as deeply, and they keep conversations shorter. Because look, boo, energy is contagious. And people are naturally drawn to what feels lighter. Not fake, not forced positivity, but lighter. So here's the fix. For 1 week, just notice it. Every time you complain, every time you default to something negative, just clock it. No judgment, no immediate change. Because awareness, that's what starts breaking the pattern. And once you see it, you can start shifting it. Because the goal is not to be positive all the time. No one is. It's not to be draining all the time. Oof. And if that one hit a little close to home, this next one, it's subtle, but it says a lot about you before you even open your mouth. Habit 8, you dress like you don't care. Now this one right here, people get a little sensitive because the first thing people say is, I'm comfortable. I don't care about trends. Oh, and this one, I'm not trying to impress anybody. Cool. That's not what this is about though. This is not about trends. It's not about labels. And it's not even about being done up all the time. This is about intention, because there's a difference between simple and careless. And some of y'all think you look simple, but it's not giving simple. It's giving you gave up. Wrinkled clothes, ill-fitting pieces, things that don't quite match. And it's giving I didn't think about this. And whether you like it or not, people read that. Not as she's low maintenance, but she really don't care. And I've had to check myself on this in the past for a very short time. There are seasons where I'm moving, busy, doing all the things. And it's easy to fall into let me just throw something on. But I noticed the difference immediately. How I carry myself changes. How I show up changes. Even how people respond to me changes. Because what you put on your body changes how you feel in your body. So here's the fix, and we're keeping it simple. You don't need more clothes, you need better standards. Fewer pieces that fit you well, that you feel good being seen in. Because if you wouldn't feel confident running into someone important, why are you wearing it? And then you want to complain about it later when you bump into people? Stop. And again, like I tell y'all, this is not about perfection. It's about not moving through your life like you don't care how you show up in it. You the main character. Because when you look intentional, people assume you are intentional. And speaking of how you show up physically, this next one is something that people don't notice right away, but they feel it. Habit 9. Your body looks underused. Let me say this in a way that might land a little differently. Some of you don't look bad. You look underused. Like your body not even being lived in. Like you want to move out. Where you gonna move? You sit most of the day. You're not moving much. You feel tired, but you're not doing anything to shift the energy. And over time, this shows up. Not just in your body, but in your energy and your brain. Because movement is not about weight, it's about vitality. You ever seen someone walk in a room and you could just feel their presence? It's not about what they look like, it's about how they move. There's a level of aliveness there. And I've noticed this in my own life too. When I'm consistent with movement, walking, working out, just being active, I feel different. I carry myself differently. But when I'm not, everything feels heavier, slower, less engaged. And that shows up before I even say anything. So here's the fix. We're not overcomplicating this. Move your body daily. Walk, stretch, lift, something. Because your body is meant to be used. And when it's used, it shows. And when your energy is alive, you don't have to force presence. People actually feel it. And now we're about to get into the one that actually sits underneath all of this. Habit number 10, you're disconnected from yourself. This right here is the root of a lot of things that we just talked about. Because let's be honest, you don't randomly have bad sleep habits or inconsistent eating or low energy or just randomly stop taking care of yourself without disconnection from you, disconnection from your body, from your needs, and from your signals. You don't realize you're tired until you're exhausted. You don't realize you're stressed until your body starts showing it. You don't realize something is off until it's been off. And I see this all the time, women handling everything, showing up for everyone else, keeping things moving, and completely ignoring themselves. And I had to recheck myself on this after I gave birth. I'm gonna be real. Because it's easy to stay busy, it's easy to stay productive, and still be completely disconnected. And here's why this matters. When you're connected to yourself, you feel grounded, you feel present, you feel in your body. And that energy right there is magnetic. You don't have to force anything, you don't have to perform. People just feel it. But when you're disconnected, you feel off, you look off, you move through life half present. And people actually feel that too. So here's the fix. And we're starting small, Sally. Before you grab that phone in the morning, take 60 seconds. Ask yourself, how do you actually feel right now? Physically, mentally, emotionally. No judgment, no fixing, just notice. Because you can't take care of yourself if you're not actually paying attention to yourself. And when you start reconnecting, everything that we talked about today, it starts to shift naturally. And y'all, that's the difference. Not perfection, not chasing some version of beauty, alignment. And now this last one is the one that will either pull everything together or it's going to keep you feeling stuck. Habit 11, nothing is feeding you or you have nothing going on. This one hits deeper than people expect. Some of y'all don't look boring. You look understimulated by your own life. There's nothing exciting you, nothing you're building, nothing pulling you forward. So your energy feels flat. And I've seen this in real time. Women who are beautiful, they're put together, doing all the right things, and still forgettable because there's nothing behind their presence. And that's not about looks. That's about having something going on, something you care about, something you're working towards, something that lights you up and tickles your fancy. And don't worry, I've had seasons like this too. I know I'm a busybody, but I've been there. You know, where everything looks fine on the outside, but I wasn't really excited about anything. And you can feel that. You show up differently. You move differently. You engage differently because nothing is feeding you. But when you do have something, it shows up in your eyes, your posture, your voice. And you don't even have to try to be interesting because you are. So if nothing in your life is feeding you right now, this is your assignment. Find one thing, not 10, not overwhelming. One thing that makes you feel engaged again, because you'll find that's where your glow actually comes from. Now look, y'all, I want you to do one thing, not all 11 I mentioned today. Pick the one that made you the most uncomfortable. Yeah, that one. That's where you start. Because being attractive is not about perfection. It's about alignment. And when your habits align, everything else follows. So if this hit for you, go ahead and drop down in the comments. Type, I'm going to fix this one, and then which habit you're fixing. And send this to a friend, but don't say nothing. Make sure that you comment and share this with someone who can use it, and subscribe, y'all. So happy to have you here, and I'll see you in the next one. Dr. Nina signing out. Peace.